Hello, can you hear me? I lost the doodad for my microphone, and I'm very, very mad about that. So, anyways, I had to order a new microphone. But I'll have to make do with these until then. But I would like to make a PSA, public service announcement for you guys who can't read. um, Hi. If you are mad about somebody having some recognition, shut up. Just kidding. No, yeah. No, yeah. No, yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, listen, the world is a big bad and very spooky dooky and fucked up. And I'm just so grateful to be in a timeline where we do have a community here, like on the planet. Like people like me are allowed to exist without being like dead. We're allowed to exist in physical human form. Like, thank you. Like, thank you. Okay. I think that's what I'm trying to say, but I don't know how to say it. Okay, thank you. I was listening to okay, so I have a little bit of the tism, right? Like I get a touch of the tism. And I was listening to my playlist, and then my playlist went to a bunch of different songs that were on my playlist, but they were out of order. That kind of like set me off because I was like, how dare you fucking play the music I love in front of me, not in the specific order that I listen to it 50 times a day. How fucking dare how dare you play my favorite songs out of order? I don't know. Like Hades when he freaks out. Like I was just like, ew, that's gross. It's like nails on a chalkboard. And I know I can't be the only person that feels that way, like at all. But yeah, it just it really pissed me off. I was like, I know you did not just, and then it did, and I was like, a surprise Pikachu face. So me and my husband are like on this whole like save money thing. And so like I have to get my books off of like thrift books and stuff like I could spend some money, right? But just not excessive spending. Which is something that happens when I'm in like my unconscious spiraling is excessive spending. It's a part of a cycle. I understand it, but it sucks. It sucks to be in it, you know what I mean? Like and not in it to win it, just like in it to like fuck everything up. And then you come out of that like manic episode, I suppose is what it is, and it's mania. It's stock raving mad mania. Have you ever seen that like old school Disney like 19 maybe 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s? Like old school, like it's I have the VHS of it and I watch it. It's like The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and then also like Toad and Friends or something, and this toad has like whatever the fuck I have. This toad, but like they didn't have medical terms for it. Like they called it manic like mania. And he was like going and like doing all kinds of shit, like blowing money and like buying lavish things and like spending, and they called it mania. He was in mania, but then he clocks back in and he's in like court and he's like, what the fuck did I do? Like, bitch is me. Like, bitch is fucking me. He's oh my god, I ate my own hair. Anyways, yeah, he's just so relatable. You wake up out of a manic episode, your eyes go back down from being like hyper dilated, and you're just like, blink, blink. You're like, hi, why the fuck am I in shackles and chains and bright orange? What the fuck? Where'd I get these vans from? Why are they all white? What the fuck? Orange is not my color. I'm just kidding. I love orange, but like on me, no hair, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, yeah, but that's kind of like what happened. I think me and my husband were both kind of in our own separate little, money spending. Even though we weren't spending money in an irresponsible way, we just weren't saving. Let's put it that way. So we weren't like getting into like obsessive debt, but we were just not saving. Whereas before we were pretty good with that. Spam risk just called me. How dare spammers call me while I'm in the middle of venting to my friends online and listening to Twin Tribes? Like, how dare you call me, bitch? Anyways, but yeah, I ordered some books, and here's what I do. I like finding the best deals, and specifically the book that I ordered, the author was like, it's okay if you order it on Amazon. So I felt better about ordering it, and yeah, I did order it off of Amazon. Now, should we be like, I am not into ethics right now, guys. I'm not like I came out of a manic episode. Leave me alone. Like, okay, yeah, we're banning things. Yes, we are. But like at the same time, guys, give me a second. All right. So yeah, I did end up getting the book off of Amazon. And so I usually go, there's a trident in the clouds that turn into a butterfly. Anyways, now it's gone. Like, that's cool. I love clouds. I love cloud peeping. Yes, of course. Yes. Yes, of course. Okay, whatever. What was I saying? Oh fuck. What was I saying? Oh no, no, same. Oh, sorry. So I'm a big book bitch. And I don't like fiction. I love occult books. I love a good occult book. Okay, I collect occult books and stuff like that. And they end up helping me, and they end up helping other people. So, like, fuck you. I cannot get into fiction. I'm sorry, I can't, because my life is stranger than fiction. And I feel like I just am so worried about lulling myself to sleep because I need to be aware of my surroundings. With a couple of things that are happening, obviously in the States, you need to be like aware. You don't need to be like lollygagging. It's like time to wake up, bitch. Like, wake up, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so yeah. So yeah. Um, but yeah. So anyways, I collect occult books, and this was one kind of like section of books I haven't gotten. I ain't got. I ain't got because I couldn't. I was like, no. But then I was watching this podcast, and a lot of the things that they were saying was resonating with me, and I was like, dude, I forgot about this whole part. Like, it was just like a really nice unveiling moment for me to be like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, there's like a lot of drama. Okay, so how this happened, I'm trying to be vague because I don't want to put people on blast, because that's, I'm not trying to do that at all. You know what I mean? But what I am trying to do is explain something. And ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch trying to explain shit? Um okay, so so let me be vague. And if you get it, you get it. Okay. So I love this makeup company that no longer exists. Um, and I purchased their makeup, and I was like yammering about it. I was like, oh my God, I love their makeup, blah, 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 right? But then come to find out, like, the owner of the makeup company went through a very, very similar traumatic fucking experience as I have gone through, but in a different part of the occult spheres, the metaphysical and occult spheres. So, um, I guess without like diving below the surface, allowing the lake to still be solidified on top, so to speak. They had gone through a very horrific, narcissistic, codependent abuse cycle, as I have gone through, in a very similar way, except theirs was more mm, external, and mine was more behind the scenes. Although theirs was in front and behind the scenes. So I was listening to a podcast that they were on, speaking about their makeup brand and other things, and explaining why a certain very popular ball going around in most cities, like New Orleans, there's a very popular ball that a lot of the influencers that I followed before, like during the, shutdown, I guess during the global shutdown, I was like, wow, they give me a sense of whimsy. So I followed them. And then all of them started going to these balls that were in like kind of the major cities where there is like a pretty big goth scene. But she was explaining behind the scenes, like the person who actually facilitates these balls are like assholes and cult leaders and women abusers and narcissistic assholes. I can't explain it really any better. But it was crazy because she was talking about how something very specific happens there that synchronizes all the people together. And as somebody who fucks around in the occult, I'm just like, oh yeah, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've never gone to one, but I've been targeted by them a lot. Obviously, goth vampiric stuff over here, and so I've been targeted by these like dark fantasy balls. Let's call them that. And you kind of feel like whenever you see so many people that you used to follow going to places, you're like, well, I would like to go to these places. I mean, I want to see what it's about. But then you start going, well, I got like a rare sick feeling. And then I saw this podcast and I was like, this is so crazy because like instinctually and intuitively, I was getting red flags. I was like, there's something wrong. There's something you could taste it in the like you could taste, I guess, after so much shit, like going through so much shit, you could taste deception from very far away, and it tastes bitter. It's very bitter. It's like baking soda or something, just straight up like a sour lime in your mouth. Deception has a certain flavor. Um, whenever it comes with a price. Okay, and so I was watching this. Well, right now I'm watching a bird, but anyways, I was watching this like podcast where she just explains her whole experience with this like narcissistic cult leader that's been prominent in the fantasy circles since like the 90s, and they've made their rounds and they've siphoned the life out of many people, used and abused people, let's say that, you know. And of course at the tops of all these extravagant cults, there's always a drug addicted bastard who thinks that they are God's one true king. um which I just want to take these cult leaders, these wannabe loser cult leaders, and get them very high and get them up on a cliff and ask them if they really do believe in God. Fly, fly. But of course I can't, and that's wrong. Would it save lives? Of course. As somebody who has escaped a cult, maybe I just might be a bad guy for a day. Mm. Anyways, so it's very, very difficult. It's very difficult. As being somebody who I don't know, it's like my certain flavor of trauma and their trauma was a very, very like similar flavor. Almost, I guess, trying to date it back to whenever you find out a food from a culture actually came from a completely backwards, like separate culture, but it implanted in two different areas or deposited its influence in two different areas. That's kind of like how it was with me. I was like, wow, this person has gone through a very, very, very goddamn deadly similar thing. And they name dropped a couple people, and then I went to go check other podcasts. I was like, okay, well, if this is what it is, if it is what it is and it is what it ain't, then I should probably go take a peek at something a little bit more below the surface. And so I did. And what I found was community, communion, and um it was very sad, but I was very happy because I knew to some extent, I was like, there is some kind of massive deception happening right here. And it's okay for massive deception to happen to an extent, but I can't be a part of it because I got like that weird little autistic thing where I love unraveling a tapestry, and then I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? I've just been sitting here yammering while pulling, and then I'm just like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? And then I get in trouble because I made the mess, and they're like, now you gotta go clean it up, and I'm like, I don't want to clean it up. You clean it up. You're the one who deceived everybody with the tapestry in the first place. Um, so anyways, yeah. So I ended up buying a book from a separate person from a different podcast. But I'm like such a weirdo. I'm like, dude, if I could get a book signed, I would love that. Like if I could get a signed copy of something, I'm all for that. I love signed copies of things. And I'm really not for cons or comic con stuff like that. I've never really been to a con. I mean, I went to a convention. Like we were in Roswell, New Mexico, and there's like a little tiny Comic Con thing there, but we were there for other reasons. And I wasn't really even at the con. We were just like supporting local vendors, and also we were a part of a drum circle and stuff like that. Like we just fall into things. I really like falling into things and just kind of being in places and seeing things and allowing that kind of intuitive, instinctual pull to put me where I need to be. Almost like heartstrings, they tug me forward. Like there's a treble hook shoved deep into the holes in my heart. It just pulls me to where I need to be, when I need to be. And then whenever it's not pulling me, I feel lost. I'm like, oh my God. But then it'll start pulling me eventually. It's weird. There's like these waves, there's moments of like, yes, I'm on my path. And then other moments where there's it's stagnation and I'm waiting, like it feels like Darth Maul whenever he's like walking back and forth. He's like walking back. They're like waiting to like fight each other and they have to wait for the thing to come up. And it's just like I'm waiting there. And when you wait too long, you start to dissolve into these like other things, mania. You start buying stupid shit online. So, anyways, did I get a signed copy of the book? No, but I ended up purchasing a book that actually helped me. Like, I haven't read it before, but I was listening to the author explain it and explain its like entirety of why it exists and things like that. I ordered a book, even though we're supposed to be saving money. I ordered a book and it was only like $20. And so whatever, it'll be here Wednesday, I believe. But I also ordered a mic because sorry, I put my foot on this thing and now everything's shaking. I ordered a mic because this cannot do. And then my other microphone, I lost the doodad. Um that's supposed to go into my phone to allow it to pick up. And it's hard to record without a microphone because there's so many things happening at once that whenever I go to edit, I hear all the sounds and I just want to throw the whole video out. I don't want to listen to like jarbled up like rednecks racing down the street and like the AC and the dog itching her butt and like also like my kids or the TV downstairs or blah blah blah. Like there's always background sounds that are to an extent comforting because it's like okay, yeah, that's very human, right? Like okay, yeah, like okay, cool, that's human. But then also for me personally, I'm just like, or like right now I'm listening to Boy Harsher and I could hear it, but I hope you guys can't hear it because then I get hit with a copyright, right? So then there's that. There's like all of these like YouTube personally has made me feel so like I have to be careful and cautious of the background sounds because if not, they could just hit me with the copyright and then like my channel gets in trouble for humans having sounds. Okay, cool. That's great. All right, cool beans. Love that. Love that for me. I love that. But yeah, that's about it. Let's see what else. Yeah. It's just that I was in a kind of a bit of a manic episode for a while, and I feel better now. Oh, but then I was like, okay, here's what happened. So if you've been following me, I like haven't been wearing makeup or anything, and I've been kind of like going through these cycles, and it's fine. It's fine. I always stop to an extent. The soup stops, and I'm able to catch my breath. I mean, the soup as in it's a surfer term. I'm sorry. I surf. And so there is like this moment where the waves are barreling and you fall off your board and you go into the deep waters and they're just crashing on you and you and they're crashing and then they're crashing and then sometimes you just have to like literally hold your breath, open your eyes and swim to where there are no waves. If you can, if you're not physically fighting underwater. And sometimes that's how it felt. Honestly, that's how it felt. I was like in this like soup mix where the barrels of the waves when you're surfing, you're supposed to get on top of me, right? But the barrels, I was boom where they were at, where they were crashing. And so it was like I was between waves and then it would crash and push me down. And, you know, it's like this very drowning. I don't know. Have you heard of it? Have you heard of drowning? Have you heard of drowning? Have you? Anyways, so that's kind of like where I was at. I was drowning, um, consciously. consciously drowning. And I know there's nothing I could do with it without just like I had to write it. It was like a very turbulent, tumultuous, is that the word? Like kind of experience or just had to write it. And then May came here and it was like the last bit of it, and now it's June. But here's the thing with May. I wasn't wearing makeup. I was like concerned and confused and like just like everything. It's like, well, who do you support? Where does it come from? Blah, blah, blah. Like so much that I was just paralyzed with I don't really want to do anything anymore. And I'm depressed. Now I'm depressed. It was like mania and then depression and then mania and depression, but it was back and forth, back and forth. And I was like, okay, bitch, like, come on, get it together. There is like a secret third thing that's happening here, and you're not paying attention. And no amount of journaling or venting, you really have to like get it together, man. And so I kind of did to an extent. I did. So I planted a garden and we did that because one part of myself is if I have a garden, then I will feel better to an extent being in it and doing things that I feel are projecting us further into like self sufficiency and away from these toxic cycles of the Western world. And so I tried that. I tried to do a garden. And then I went outside it was like towards the end of May. I went outside and all of the flowers had been hit with like some kind of pesticide or something that was also like an herbicide or something. Something had happened. Like maybe the neighbors were spraying some shit. I don't know. Something had happened. And I, then it went from like an easy, like a mania depression to like a swoom all the way down to the bottom of the lake where the bare bones and the old folk tales are. And I was just like, this is fucking me up. This is fucking me up. We had a bunch of crises happen that were external to our family, but we had to react to. And so it was like a bunch of external crisis, and then $500 got yoinked from my bank, and then like from a scammer, and blah blah blah. And then it was like too many, blah, 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 right? And then I was like, okay, all right, okay, stop. So the garden was the last straw, and I was like, you know what? I just need to like get back to basics. I need to put some makeup on. I don't give a fuck where I bought it, how it's from, whatever it's from. I don't give a fuck about anything anymore. I just need to get back to me because trying to fix all of the world's problems right now, it's destroying me. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just destroying me. Self awareness is destroying me, and I need to come back to like my center and stop constantly. Like, I felt like I had this cast net and I was casting wide and I was getting all these things, and metaphorically, I'm putting them on the deck of my boat metaphorically and looking at them. But you have a certain amount of time of looking at things before you need to either put them back or put them in a bucket to collect and save. But either way, if you keep looking at them or put them in a bucket, they will die. And if you put them back, they still have a chance to live. And so I was like paralyzed in this constant cast net motion. And I was just catching some of the most strangest things. And it was just not a very good dance I was doing. When I look back, it wasn't a good dance. It wasn't healthy or productive. It was just consuming me, and I was consuming other things. Like, and it was just this huge subconscious consuming, like no face, and Spirited Away was just consuming, consuming, consuming. And the moment where I threw everything up was when the garden was truly being affected, and I was like, hmm. I heard that old Saturnine like phrase, begin again. Let it die. Let it go back to the soil and begin again. And then I was like, wow, it took something external, my garden, me having to let go of the garden and realize that, like, even all the hard work and dedication, water, money, everything to make it perfect and like symmetrical. Because this year we weren't doing like wild gardening where you just kind of throw stuff, which is what I usually do. And whatever grows, grows and great. And it's usually strong and it's usually good and less susceptible to pesticide or like fungal infections or whatever dying. And this year everything was stunted, everything had like some kind of herbicide on it or something. It was like, it was to the point where I was like, what the fuck, like what the actual fuck. And then that was the moment I was like, I just got to go back to myself. I have to come back into myself and realize that maybe this is not it. Maybe I'm not supposed to be gardening. I'm really good with animal husbandry, which is like homesteading, like having animals. I'm really good with taking care of animals. Not that great with plants, but I'm really good with animals, chickens, ducks, and that cycle. And so maybe I need to demolish the gardens, say fuck it, say honestly, like fuck it, and just focus on getting more birds, different types of birds. I'm really good with birds. So, do you know what I mean? It's like kind of assessing your strengths and weaknesses and finding the true gold in all of that. And yeah, I'm really good with raising birds. That's what I'm really good with, and keeping them safe. And that's what I know how to do. And I've been doing that since I was born. We always had birds since I was born. So maybe that's just where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be a bird lady. We have cat ladies. I'm supposed to be a pigeon man or something, bird man, whatever. Um, but yeah, yeah. So I went back to like my old playlists that I really found beautiful. And there's even points where in my like mania and depression cycles I was like, I don't want to listen to any music because it's all subliminal, it's all fucked up, the frequencies are all fucked up, they do it on purpose. Like it was like very easy for me to just be like trying to avoid everything. And I really did. I tried to like avoid cold turkey human life in America. Well, no, that's not going to work. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to consume what I have always found comforting, what like really resonates with my soul to some extent. And so then I started doing that, and I started blooming. I started feeling better. I started letting things go. I started practicing magic again. And that's also something like it's self care for me, doing magic, witchcraft, things of that nature. Curanderismo. It's very healing, tarot, astrology, things like that. And it helped. It did help. But Jiminy Crickets on a fucking biscuit. Like I was in it and not in it to win it. Like I was lost in the sauce, lost in the soup for real. And yeah, but I started coming back to myself, and it was like an awakening, and I was just like, this is great. Like wow, you know what I mean? I do need to travel, and I do need to have little birds on my homestead. It's just something that I do and I need to do, and that's okay. Um, but yeah, sorry, messing with my hair. But yeah, that's just something I do. It's something I need to do, and something that I need to protect and cultivate are the things that I have identified within these past 6 months of, cycles. You know what I'm saying? Now does it suck? Yeah. Yeah, bro, of fucking course. It sucks. Um, things that I do value are old architecture, old cities, laughing, good coffee. Um, very old things. I value older things, and I value older structures, like buildings. Like that's what I mean. Structures. That's like things. Animals, flora, fauna. I do not like mechanical things. I do not like technology as much, and I don't like being at home, like being stuck in one place. I like moving about, going places and things, and seeing things. I don't know. It's a weird cleansing feeling. Like whenever we go to Galveston, it's very cleansing, and then also whenever we go into the waters, like in the ocean, it's very cleansing. There's like different things that I'm taking note of that inspire me and give me life. And there's other things that absolutely take and drain and paralyze me, which I'm also taking note of because I need to, not that I need to avoid those things, but I need to stop actively consuming anything that makes me feel nauseous. You know what I mean? Like I have to get better at being a human. I have like bitch, I have to get better at being a human. And like before that was not it. That was not it. So yeah, yeah. So I put on my corset and my old like looking dresses, and I've been doing makeup, and that does help. it does help. So I don't know if anyone needed to hear that, but yeah, we're like this really strange culture, and it's fucked up. And you just need to really get back to like that tiny little spark of life inside of your heart, deep in your hardest of hearts and your fartest of farts. There you will are be. You we have the meats. There you are, and there you will be. And yes, we have the meats. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. Okay, what else? No, that's about it. That's about it. If I do another, what video? Oh, yeah, the other video I did, the makeup video, it totally got like a fuck ton of copyrights, and I was like, how do you fight a copyright? Like, do you just like tag the artists or something? Like, put the artists individually for every song that's in the background? Like, how can we override a copyright? Because I'm not saying I'm not getting paid for this. Like, I'm on YouTube, y'all. I'm not getting paid for this at all. Like, I don't run ads. I'm not getting paid. I just literally do this shit because it's either like create or be consumed by myself. So I'm trying not to do that, like Ouroboros, baby. Like I'm not trying to consume my own ass, okay? But yeah, yeah. In all honesty and actuality, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. What the fuck is that? It's paint or makeup. One thing about having like face makeup that's all white is whenever you wear all black and you go like this, and then you go, oopsies. Like I have to like ease myself into wearing makeup again because, yeah, you know how many times I do this a day? And that is, I'm like rubbing my face hard, and then I'll be like, and then it'll just be like all white. I'm like, great. I love that for me, whatever. And then I have to practice like letting go, detachment, and being like, oh yeah, fuck it. I look like a goof. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. Yep, I said no. I'm gonna go. I'll see you later. Hope you have a good day. Okay, goodbye.